What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about 5 guitar specs that I think beginning guitar players or entry level guitar players, those of you that are just getting involved in this hobby, in this art, can basically ignore. I got these 5 from kind of the opposite thing. I was searching around on the internet like, when you go on a guitar forum, when you go on a guitar group on Facebook, etc., what are the things that people are telling new guitar players to look for, when shopping for a guitar? And I got to looking at it and I'm like, man, this could be very confusing for a new guitar player. So I'm going to tell you 5 things that I think about a guitar that I think you should just kind of ignore and just like do your own thing. Do what you want. Okay? Especially if you're an entry-level guitar player or just getting into the hobby. Before we do that, do me a favor, hit the like and the subscribe button, because we talk about guitar stuff basically every day here on YouTube. And we also make pickups. So you can scan the little scanny thing right there, and if you need parts for your guitar, like pots, caps, switches, pickups themselves, whatever you want, that's our real job. So you can scan that little thing right there. You can also support us through Patreon as well as YouTube members. We always have fun stuff going on over there as well. All right, number 1, the wood that the guitar is made of. Commonly referred to by people who argue about such a thing on the internet as tone wood. This is a particular guitar that I have in my hands right here is a mahogany with a maple top. You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the guitar is made of that you want to buy. So if you are shopping for an electric guitar, especially, one of your first ones, you're just getting into it, don't worry. Is it mahogany? Is it alder? Is it swamp ash? Is it poplar? Oh, basswood is only for cheap guitars. I've never heard of the wood that this guitar is made of. Don't stress about it. Don't stress about it at all. The thing I would concern myself with if I was you, and actually I've been playing for 40 years and I still only concern myself with this, is 2 things. 1, does the guitar look the way you want it to look? So with a guitar like this, where it's got this really pretty kind of stripy maple top, that is a material, and do you want that? Do you want some kind of fancy wood, or, do you just want a regular painted guitar and it doesn't really matter what it looks like? The other thing is weight. This guitar is like 9 pounds, a little over 9 pounds. To me, for an entry-level guitar, that might be a little much. I shoot for somewhere in the 6 to 7 pound range, 7.5, maybe 8. But I really care about weight more than anything. So if you are shopping for a guitar, get one that you think looks cool, that is made of a material that you think looks cool. And if it is painted, then it doesn't really matter. And if it weighs the appropriate amount for what is comfortable for you, like for example on Sweetwater, they'll show the individual guitars on their little carousel picture thing, and you can actually pick the weight of guitar. And a lot of times what I do when I'm shopping for a guitar is I pick the lightest one because I like lighter guitars versus heavy guitars. So as far as the wood goes, what it's made of, as an entry-level guitar player or even as an expert, man, don't stress, but just buy the one that's cool and that feels good weight-wise. As an extension to that conversation, number 2 is going to be fretboard material. You're going to hear all kinds of people say all kinds of things about, well, rosewood has a darker tone than maple. Well, I mean, it's brown, right? So you have brown fretboards, you have black fretboards, you have maple, which are kind of white fretboards. You also have kind of alternative materials to rosewood to keep costs down on entry-level guitars like Peo Ferro, Indian Laurel, that kind of thing. As an entry-level guitar player, if you're just getting into this for the very first time, here's what I would say. Buy the guitar that you think looks cool and that you like the feel of. If you like how rosewood feels, buy it. If you like how ebony feels, buy it. If you just touch it and go, I like that. If you like how it looks, the overall aesthetic, to be honest with you, I'm a rosewood fan. Most of my guitars have rosewood fretboards or ebony fretboards, or I actually have some crazy, like other materials that you've probably never heard of as fretboards. But I just think darker looking fretboards on most guitars, for me personally, look cool. So go for your, this kind of goes along with what the wood is made of. So this is an alder body telly with a rosewood fretboard. I don't really care how that makes the guitar sound, if that's even a thing. I just wanted a vintage looking sort of this aesthetic, and so that's what I bought. For now, that's what I would do if I was you. Just buy the guitar you want, okay? Does that mean that you're never gonna care as you learn? We'll get into that later. We're gonna discuss in a few minutes why we avoid this now, though. Number 3 is going to be the electronic specifications on the guitar. If you're just getting into electric guitars, or even if you're into guitars for a while and you're just enjoying what you're doing, you start to see in Facebook groups and various conversations, people talk about how many K a pickup is. Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's vintage. That's underwound. That's overwound. That's too hot, not hot enough. 500K pots, 250K pots, 22 cap, 33 cap, like etc. All of those various numbers, which may mean nothing to you, right? They may not make much difference to you at all. Don't let anybody tell you that they make any difference if they don't make any difference to you at all right now. The thing is it kind of matters, right? Because you want your guitar to sound the way you want it to sound. But in the beginning, what I would definitely recommend is think about the vibe that you're going for, okay? So if you want to play metal, if you want to play higher gain sounds, right? If your favorite artist plays, you know, much higher gain with lots of distortion and lots of things like that, what kind of guitar is he playing, okay? Or maybe it's, you know, higher gain thing like that. Maybe you're like, you know, I'm an Angus Young AC/DC fan. Maybe I am a country fan and I want a traditional Telecaster. If you buy the guitar from a reputable brand in that overall vibe and style, the values of everything in here are at least going to get you in that direction, right? So for example, we used the word vibe, right? So let's talk about a classic vibe Telecaster. Those are somewhere around $500. They're an excellent guitar for a new guitar player. And if you're looking for vintage style, classic vibe, then buy that guitar. The pickups and the pots and the caps and stuff are going to be a great starting off point in that whole sort of feel, right? You don't need to worry about the exact numbers, right? Because here's the thing, is especially on entry-level guitars, the numbers don't mean anything because they'll do a lot of things with the numbers to compensate for the cost of the product. So they might adjust numbers and they might use materials and do things with more inexpensive parts to get a result. And overall result will also save money on the guitar. So don't stress about all that stuff. Just if you like the vibe of the guitar, if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for a country feel, and you want a Telecaster to do that, then buy a classic vibe Telecaster. If you're looking for something more high output, something hotter, something more metal, then, you know, the whole ESP, LTD, all that whole vibe of kind of guitars. And I would say there is no fault in referring to your guitar hero who you know, moved you to play guitar, who inspired you to play guitar. Look at what they play. Because chances are their inexpensive version of whatever guitar they're playing will at least get you into the family of the, you know, the electronics and the style of pickups, whether it's high output humbuckers or low output single coils or whatever. It'll just get you in the general area, right? That's all you really need to worry about for now. The next spec I would not worry about as a beginner guitar player is fret size. You're going to see when you go and look at any, you know, well laid out website with all the specs of the guitar, you're going to see numbers and sizes done kind of different ways. So you're going to see them in numbers like 6150, 6505, 6100, right? And you're also going to see vintage. You're going to see medium jumbo, jumbo, those sorts of things. What do they mean? Well, they actually mean how wide the fret is, this fret right here, how tall it is, the top shape of the fret, right? And that's basically it. There's 3 or 4 little measurements that they'll do, right? And it does change the feel of the guitar. But again, don't worry about it. because until you kind of get used to what you're doing, it doesn't really matter. If you pick up the guitar and you're like, yeah, it feels comfortable and I'm playing and everything's cool, then don't worry about what fret size it is for now. Number 5 is going to be, don't worry about the country of origin of the guitar, okay? Does that mean it doesn't matter? No, but I wouldn't worry about it a whole lot. Because if you are a beginner guitar player and you're buying kind of an entry-level instrument or even a mid-range instrument, chances are those guitars, chances are, not all of them, but chances are most of those guitars that are in the 500, 800 range that we kind of get into when we're, buying a good electric guitar, but that is still relatively attainable. Most of those guitars are going to come from East Asia, right? So this particular one comes from Indonesia. This is a Schecter. And so this guitar is very high quality. It is excellent. It is actually a really good guitar, but it comes from Indonesia. Now that doesn't mean that all guitars that come from the Far East are all good quality. So you have to use caution, but also don't worry about it. Chances are, if you're buying an entry-level guitar and you live in Europe, if you live in Australia, if you live in North America, if you live in South America, chances are you may not be able to get an entry-level guitar for that $500 to $800 price point from the country where you live, right? Most of that stuff's going to come from East Asia. So the suggestion I would give you is just buy from a reputable company that has a good track record. All of the major brands, like Schecter, ESP, Ibanez, Fender, PRS, Gibson, all have Asian counterparts, like Asian versions of their guitars that come from the Far East that are high quality instruments that would be a good stepping point into those legacy brands, right? There are other guitar brands that are sort of knockoffs of those things, and they don't always have A, very consistent quality, and B, the customer service to back it up if you had a problem, or kind of the retail, since we're buying things online, having a reputable dealer to buy them from in case you have a problem is also another thing, right? So you can go on Amazon, you can buy a guitar for $200, but if it's not right, what kind of service after the sale is there? How much dealer support is there? Like that kind of thing. There's a lot of those brands that will get you into that trouble. So just be careful, but at the same time, don't stress about where your guitar is made because there are excellent guitars made all over the world. So now I just gave you 5 things that I told you as a beginning guitar player that you should not worry about spec-wise. Does that mean that you never worry about them? No, but I think at the beginning, it's just confusing. So here is my suggestion. Buy the guitar that you want. It doesn't matter how much it costs. It doesn't matter where it was made. Nothing really matters about it except for a couple of things, okay? One is, does it inspire you to play? So, does your dad have one? Does your mom have one? Did your big brother or your big sister have one, or an aunt and uncle or whatever, right, that inspired you to play? Or is it because I was inspired by Slash? I have a guitar over here. Actually, I have a Slash one right there. And I was actually very inspired by Mike McCready from Pearl Jam. And so I have a Mike McCready Strat, right? Like, I am inspired by various people, and so I like the guitars that they have. There's nothing wrong with that because it will inspire you to play the instrument. It doesn't matter about the specific specs of them. Whatever guitar that you play, that you actually play a lot, is the one that matters. So, as a beginning guitar player, here's what I would say. Go get it, right? Then play it. Don't worry about the specs. But then you can now use that guitar as a reference as you begin to discover and to explore all of those specific specifications. So, now that you know, okay, this is the fret size, for example, and this is the fretboard material, and this is the neck profile that I started on. I am very comfortable with it because it's the one I've started on, and this is the reference. Now, Or maybe the pickups are these specs, these pots, etc. Now I want to explore. Now I want to learn. Now I want to try something new. And you go to a bigger fret. You go to a smaller fret. You might go, yeah, it doesn't make any difference to me. I can play basically any guitar with any fret size on it. No big deal. Or maybe you decide, you know what? I kind of like bigger frets. I kind of like smaller frets. I kind of like a thicker neck. I kind of like, you know what? I went to a thicker neck after playing this neck and I don't really like it. I'm going to stay with smaller necks. Then you can start to develop preferences, having the guitar that you started with, where you didn't even care, except that it was cool, as a reference. And then my suggestion there would be never sell it. Always have your first guitar for that reference. If you mod it, if you put new pickups in it, if you do whatever, you do all the things and you enjoy your guitar and you keep it forever, but always keep it, because it'll always kind of get you back to like where you started, and you'll be able to have that reference forever. And you can explore and learn and then dive into each of these things. Anyway, I think it's a really important thing, because you should focus on having fun and playing your guitar, not get all paralyzed by the amount of specifications that are on an electric guitar, that people in Facebook groups and various chats and all kinds of things all over the internet, comment sections, will encourage you that you have to have, otherwise it's not cool or whatever. None of that matters. Just buy the guitar you think is cool, play it a lot. Anyway, if you have thoughts to add to this, please do me a favor and put them in the description, and we will chat about it down there. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all the things, and go to DylanTalksTone for your guitar pickup needs, and we'll see you in the next video.